Hi everyone, welcome to another Shared Spirit story. I'm excited to share this next story with you. I call it To Heaven and Back. Okay, so what happened was a woman came in for a reading. And when she walked in for her reading, one of the first things that happened was sometimes I get this like feeling to do something or just an unusual feeling that I know isn't really myself, my natural type of feeling. So I started to draw like pictures, and I'm not an artist. I don't draw well at all, and I was just kind of like scribbling in this certain way. And the woman's brother's energy had come through. Her brother had crossed over in his teenage years. And as I was like drawing in this certain fashion, it finally hit her what was happening. Basically, had to do with the fact that they used to draw pictures together of heaven when they were younger, and they used to like to sit and draw pictures of what they thought heaven might be like, which is a really kind of sweet thing that they did together as brother and sister. And the drawing that I was doing was actually his way of reminding her that they used to sit and draw those pictures together. Um, he also spoke about coming to her in her dreams, and then she shared the story with me, which is amazing. So in her dream state, well, when they would draw these pictures together, they made this deal together as siblings that whoever died first would come back to the other one and tell them what heaven is like, and if their pictures are accurate, or anything in their pictures of heaven is what is, if any of that is really what heaven is like. And it happened. Her brother passed away. I believe he was 17, and shortly thereafter, she had a dream visitation, however you would call it. And apparently he took her to the other side. So cool. And she said what she remembers of that is that it was the most amazing feeling she's ever had in her life. Incredible feeling. She remembers him saying to her, she had a typing job at the time, and she remembers him saying to her, "You're going to be able to do anything you want here. Like the jobs you have," kind of implying that there's some kind of job there, but you'll be able to do anything you want here, and don't worry, you won't be typing, is what he said to her. And she said she knows that they weren't speaking in words, but there was just like this mental connection that you kind of just know what you're saying, and you know what the other person is saying, but there was no language or words. She knows she crossed over to heaven and was shown heaven, and then she was brought back to some type of booth. She said she was sitting in a booth, and he said to her, "No, you're not going to be able to remember any of this, or you're not allowed to remember any of this," is what he said to her. He said, "I'm sorry, but you're not allowed to remember any of this. You'll remember from this point on." So she's remembered being in the booth. She remembers the beginning of the dream and sort of the end, the beginning of the visitation and the end, and knows she was in heaven and has some like vague memory of it, but not the specific details. She just remembers being told, that you're not allowed to retain this information. So when I called her or spoke to her to ask her if it's okay for me to share the story with you, she said no problem at all, and added to it. She sent, I'm going to read this to you. She just texted me this today. Okay, so she says, "I forgot to tell you another thing I remembered about my visitation with my brother. I remember that he brought me to God, and God answered all my questions that I had, almost before I even thought them. They were answered. Not asked by my words, but just thought, and then the answers were immediate. And I remember the answers being extremely profound, but I was somehow able to understand it. And I knew that this stuff that I had never thought or understood before." She said she knew this was stuff she never thought or understood before. She knew it was really profound information. So she remembered that she hadn't shared that part of it with me, and just sent me that text today knowing I was going to share this with you. I think this is an amazing story, and I hope you find it as interesting as I do, something I really was looking forward to sharing. So hope you enjoyed it. Looking forward to sharing more spirit stories with you. There's so many that I'm sure I'll be back soon. Okay? Remember to count your blessings. Have a blessed day. Bye.